I painted my nails today, and I put on a top coat with iridescent glitter in it to, like, get me in that vampire sparkly mood.
Uh-huh. Welcome to another episode of Midlight Crisis, a real podcast hosted by three grown adults revisiting books from our teens, and it's totally cool. I am Sophie, and I am one of the hosts of this podcast. And as always, I have a randomly generated YA title for this episode. My randomly generated YA title is My Year of Names and Questing.
Oh.
Which
Interesting.
just sounds like a thing that could
Yeah.
exist.
It sounds like a pretty generic fantasy book. Like, you'd read it and you'd be like, yeah, that was fine.
Yeah, like this doesn't necessarily sound like the title of the book, but it sounds like in the prologue when you have the first person perspective and they're like, let me tell you about my year of names and questing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, like that's the start of the book right there.
Yeah. Ooh. So we're branching out. Not only are we doing YA book titles, we're also doing YA opening lines.
Yeah, we're doing YA, an entire book in one line per episode.
Great.
Anyway, who are you guys?
I'm Sam, and my randomly generated YA title is The Cafe of Paperbacks and Bowstrings.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
I know, it's like a library cafe, but with archery.
Dang.
Right?
Oh, I was definitely thinking string instruments. I should say that less moistly. String instruments. Trudeau would be so disappointed in me.
Too moist. Speaking moistly.
How dare you speak so moistly?
Well, anyway.
Yep, the last one.
You want to introduce yourself?
I would love to. My name is Hannah, and my randomly generated YA title for today is My Blog of Politics and Dying.
Oh. So,
Okay.
like, that's a blog circa 2016, the US, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Well, regardless, it's depressing, and I don't want to think about it too much.
Yeah. Great. Well,
take us away, Sophie.
Yeah, let's move on.
Now that I've killed the mood.
Yeah, let me take you on a very smooth transition.
Speaking of dying.
No. Oh yeah, actually. Speaking of dying, Sam, why don't you tell us what happened in Twilight?
Well, the Cullens saved the day, but
wow.
Well, not before James has time to break Bella's leg a few ribs and give her a big old bite on the hand. Carlisle and Edward rush to the rescue, and Edward sucks out all the venom from Bella's bloodstream, which I am sure is the first thing we'll all talk about after Hannah's Midnight Sun summary. So, Hannah, take it away.
Yeah, both chapters this time were fairly short, although because, you know, Edward, the Midnight Sun chapter is twice as long as the Twilight chapter.
As always.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. The guy has so many thoughts. Basically, he fights James, he freaks the fuck out over Bella's injuries, and then he sucks the venom out. His body wants to drink all of Bella's blood, but he is able to stop thanks to the power of love.
Wow.
So romantic.
Yep. I could not believe how much longer the Midnight Sun chapter was than the Twilight one.
I
like
know.
the Twilight chapter was 6 pages.
Yeah.
And the exact same thing happens in both. Granted, Bella is mostly unconscious.
Yeah.
It's true.
But still.
Edward just has a lot of thoughts. Like, he just thinks, but nobody thinks in that vivid of sentences.
No.
This scene, the Midnight Sun scene also, is happening in vampire time.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of time it takes from Edward entering the room, throwing James away, getting to Bella's side, and Carlisle also being there, he says is a few seconds.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you have so many thoughts in just a few seconds? It's so many thoughts.
It's like not even different substance to the thoughts. It's like the same thought but reworded a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
It's like, buddy, just
like Yeah, I get it. He's panicking,
Yeah.
but like the whole chapter is just the same circle
Yeah.
of thoughts.
Yeah.
But how
4
can
times.
somebody think that clearly when in a panic?
Oh, I
Like,
can't.
I
Not
can't.
me.
No. I can't even form coherent sentences.
Anyway,
Anyways.
I did want to address with the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't suck snake venom out of a wound, so I don't know why you'd be able to suck vampire venom out of a wound.
So, Sophie, this is my question for you.
Oh, great.
Did you, by chance, math out how far or fast the spread throughout Bella's body by the time Edward started sucking it out, and prove to the fact that it would have been like completely through her body by the time he started sucking?
No, Sam,
That's
and you know
fair.
why? Because Stephanie Meyer was not kind enough to give me like a vampire suction power
True.
Ugh.
potential.
Yes, true.
So this is us officially asking Stephanie Meyer, how much does a vampire suck?
I need to know for science purposes.
We need to know for science.
Everyone pause. I want to Google if there is a number associated with how much a human being
Can
what is
suck?
the suction power
Sophie,
of
can
a
you please?
human mouth?
I hear her typing.
I hear it too.
How strong of a vacuum can you make with your mouth? Let's see. There's some diagrams.
Oh, good.
Is there a number? I wonder what it's going to give it to me in, like, PSI? Okay, let's see. Oh,
Oh
the
no.
second.
Uh-huh.
I have a feeling I know what it was.
I'm sorry. No, the second link was from Reddit, and I clicked on it, and I didn't see what the whole question was. The question is, does a human mouth have enough suction power to suck out an eyeball from another human?
Ugh.
And literally the only further detail underneath is, this isn't my fetish. Okay, sorry.
Great.
This feels like I'm reading a Yahoo
Oh.
Answers. No, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know.
No.
What I looked up is if a human can, like, if sucking out venom in a snake bite
Yeah.
is actually something that can work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things I saw were like, oh, you don't want to do it because, like, you'd have to cut it open wider and there's a risk of infection, so it's just better to not. But I was like, no, but I need to know if it can be done if you're not worried about any of those things.
Yeah.
As far as I could tell, the rate that a human heart pumps, you just can't suck enough blood out,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
like a big enough volume out to make a difference.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'll give it to you that a vampire probably can.
Yeah.
Right? That's the suspension of disbelief I'm willing to give.
Okay.
Yeah, that vampires suck a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get tired of this joke. I'm just
Nope.
warning you now.
Okay, wait. But guys, counter. Based off my previous assessment that Edward's lips are not in fact dry.
Super
They're dry, Sam. They're dry.
Dry as
No.
hell.
Because if he's sucking out her blood, his tongue and everything is still active, which is covered in venom, because that is the only liquid in a vampire. That means that even if he's sucking out the venom, he's still leaving traces of venom in her bloodstream that would just spread even slower than what him taking out the stuff that's already in her. I'm just saying.
Sam.
Is he using his tongue to suck, or is he
Oh,
just
God.
making a vacuum with his lips? It's
Well,
sucking.
I'm assuming it's...
I love this chapter, you guys.
I'm assuming, like, because his mouth is... Jesus Christ, this is...
Dry.
Mhm.
No, his mouth is very wet with venom.
It's dry.
It's wet. And, like, even if he... Like, if he was to close his mouth... Wow. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm even saying this out loud.
Yeah.
No,
onto
go
the
on.
Internet, straight onto the internet.
If he's to close his mouth over the wound, like, there's no
Mhm.
way... Unless he just, like, got off of it. Oh god, the visual in my head with his mouth, like, fully open, just, like, dripping blood back into her. But then there's no way, because then he would get blood venom, like, back into her. Anyways, moral of the whole thing, there would still be venom in her.
I actually think that the fact that it doesn't really proves the point that Edward's lips are dry. Because
They are
if
not
his lips
dry!
but see, if they're dry, then no venom would have gotten into the wound,
Yep.
and so it wouldn't matter.
Yep. Yeah, the fact that she
No.
didn't become a vampire even after he had his mouth on
Yeah.
her is just
Proves
further
that
proof
his lips
that his
are
lips
very
are dry.
No.
Uh-huh.
Because nobody would enjoy a kiss with dry lips. Nobody.
I mean, Bella might. She's
yeah.
not like other girls.
Yeah. That's what they mean when they say not like other girls.
I'm not like other girls. I like dry
Like the
kisses
very
and
dry
an ice
kiss.
cube.
Oh my god.
Well, this is going great. Already I can tell.
Yep. One of the many, many questions that I had about this whole situation is
Mhm.
that Edward notices when he goes to suck out the venom that Bella's skin at the bite site is already starting to get colder and starting to get harder. So, like, she's already started to vampirize.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Dimification.
she, like, ossifies. Mineralizes. She's already mineralizing
Yeah,
at the site.
mineralizing. Yeah.
Yeah. And this chapter doesn't address whether that is reversed or not. Like, does he suck her so hard that her skin goes back to normal? Or does she just have, like, a hard cold patch on her hand for the rest of her human life?
I think isn't that addressed later? I'm pretty sure
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure she has like a scar that's like hardened from it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
that's
pretty
cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that like carries over into New Moon because that's like one of her ways of like tethering herself to reality.
Oh.
But
Oh.
I could be very wrong.
Well, I hope you're right.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Because I didn't look up anything about, I didn't deep dive into parasites this time. So I don't have a
Thank
basis
God.
for this. Yeah. Maybe next time.
No.
Because that made me think, like, okay, so that must mean that the venom and the actual, like, thing that turns them into vampires are both injected at the same time, but are, like, two separate things. Right? Because it was like her skin was already changing in one
Mhm.
part, but, like, the venom would have, like, the amount of time they stood over her should have been enough to get venom through, like, a human's entire body.
That's what I'm saying. Like he would have had to suck her dry.
Yeah, I hate that.
Me too.
As dry as him.
No.
Yes.
Hashtag team wet. Oh god.
Oh, God.
Let us know on social media if you're team wet or team dry.
Oh my
Instead of Team Jacob and Team Edward, it's now Team Wet and Team Dry. Oh, I hate it. Usually we only reach this level of chaos, like, much further into the recording.
Oh, so I googled it.
Okay.
It.
Yeah.
According to the internet, it takes under 20 seconds for one red blood cell to circulate around the whole body. So doesn't that mean it should take 20 seconds for the venom to circulate through the whole body too?
Yeah.
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 So
They had to have been standing there longer than 20 seconds.
They 100% were.
Yeah.
They didn't even realize she was bitten.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
theory is
Mhm.
that the venom, we've already talked about this, the venom does not serve to, like, kill their prey.
Mhm.
And so the
No.
venom is something that just, like, makes it easier for them to hunt. So it won't, like, make a huge difference if it gets through her whole body.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, it shouldn't have only shown signs at her hand then, right? Like,
Yeah.
it should have shown signs through her whole body
Yeah.
immediately.
Definitely.
So, like, maybe it's actual contact with something on their teeth. And, like, so it's only the point where the teeth touch that it starts and then it grows, right?
Oh.
Like, maybe that's what it is.
Their whole thing is that it has to spread through the bloodstream. And that, like, the
Yeah.
transformation is only complete once your heart stops. They've been
Right.
pretty clear. I thought that it was, like, a bloodborne thing. But maybe there's also a local, like, not vascular, visceral effect or like muscular effect at wherever the injection site is.
Yeah, like maybe at the injection site, right, the first stage of the infection starts, and then when the infection reproduces itself into the bloodstream or something,
Oh.
like maybe it co-opts, like, you know how viruses like co-opt
Yeah.
cells to reproduce themselves, right? So maybe it's
Uh-huh.
something like that, where like the cells at the point of infection are co-opted, start transforming into the vampire cells, and then start reproducing themselves into the bloodstream from there to spread to the rest of the body. I don't know enough about diseases or
Yeah.
parasites or anything.
Yep, we're getting into the like human cellular biology, which is none of our forte.
None of our fortes. One day this podcast is going to be popular enough that we can do like a revisit of Twilight where we can call in a bunch of experts and be like, we need to talk to you about human epidemiology.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That would be so
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh man, we
That'd
gotta
be
get
so
Dr. Strang on
fun.
here.
Your best friend?
My new best friend,
Your new best
Dr.
friend.
Strang, the chief medical administrator of Nova Scotia, with whom I have formed a parasocial relationship because I hear from him his human voice more than literally anybody else these days watching
Aw.
Nova Scotia COVID briefs. So shout out to Dr. Strang if he's listening.
Yeah, we dedicate this episode to Dr. Strang.
Imagine if
great.
he actually heard this one day. That would be
He's
funny.
our one listener.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, thanks, Dr. Strang.
oh, I'm so glad that my
Hannah's
best
a
friend
big
is
fan.
listening.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, so I was kind of excited about the prevalence of envenomation in this chapter because we all have some experience with the discomfort of being envenomated by animals, but nobody more than Sophie.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
this is true.
So Sophie, I wanted to ask you
Ugh.
how you think you should treat a vampire bite if sucking out the venom doesn't work. What are you doing?
See, well, this is hard because I generally don't do envenomation into the bloodstream, right?
True.
I usually get surface level envenomations. Envenomations?
Uh-huh.
That's a word.
Yep.
So it's hard to tell because Bella just says burning,
Yeah.
which like I don't know what that means. Is it your skin? Is it burning? Is it the inside of your arm that's burning?
I feel like the times that I was stung by jellyfish, burning was a very good way to describe that sensation.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say if it feels like it's your skin that's burning,
Yeah.
and it could be perhaps that Edward's teeth are coated in nematocysts,
Oh.
like a jellyfish.
Uh-huh.
You don't pee on it. Oh my god. Why does everyone think you gotta pee on
I
it?
don't know.
I mean, everyone thinks you gotta pee on it because somebody said that. That's not true. The only reason pee would help is because heat helps.
True.
Uh-huh.
But just put vinegar on it, everybody. This is a PSA.
Yeah.
Put
Douse
vinegar on
yourself
your
in
jellyfish
vinegar.
and vampire bites.
Yes. Don't pee on your vampire bites. Use vinegar.
Yeah,
Use
you know
meat
what?
tenderizer.
Depending on what the function is, the functionality of whatever is causing the change, actually, because vinegar in nematocysts, jellyfish stingers, works because it causes the actual nematocyst cell to swell up
Oh.
so that the little like spiky part that shoots out to sting can't go off.
Okay.
So the reason it helps with a jellyfish sting is because when you get stung by a jellyfish, there's usually more left over that haven't gone off yet. So over time, it's just going to get worse as more and more of them go off.
Right.
So you use vinegar to stop any more from going off.
So it basically like stops a continuing reaction.
Yeah, so maybe
Huh.
if they just dunked Bella's arm in vinegar, it would have stopped with just her hand.
Yeah.
But would vinegar have the same chemical effect on vampire venom as it has on nematocytes? We don't know what the chemical composition
know.
of the venom is.
Exactly.
If the venom is like a liquid vector for whatever parasitic infection,
Yeah.
then you need something that's going to kill or disable the parasite,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which could be
So
vinegar.
it could be vinegar. I mean,
It
vinegar
could
is
be.
very toxic to a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If we assume that the parasite is some kind of invertebrate, like a moth,
Yeah.
Mhm.
a lot of, well, not a lot of, I think almost all aquatic invertebrates are super, super sensitive to copper.
Yeah. Heavy
Yes.
metals at all, really.
Heavy metals,
Yeah.
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 Wait, but human blood is like iron.
Oh, true.
So they're probably
Mm.
not that susceptible to iron.
Yes.
But they don't have blood anymore.
But they have to get into the human blood.
Yeah.
Oh.
Although maybe
Oh.
they, like, react with something in the iron, and that's why the venom doesn't have an effect on other vampires.
Actually, that's something I don't know, but that is a point that I wanted to discuss.
Okay.
Cool.
Because Edward, like, while he's sucking all the venom blood out of
Mhm.
Bella,
Mhm.
describes James's venom, I guess, because that's what's in Bella, as the sharp, icy taste of venom.
So it has menthol in it.
Yes, it has menthol.
Yeah, you have great breath after.
Really good for when you have a cold. Just
Yeah,
get bitten
maybe
by a
that's
vampire.
why Edward's breath smells so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the menthol.
But I was wondering, do you guys think it would have made more sense for like another vampire's venom to taste awful?
It should, because anything
Right?
that's not blood should taste bad to them.
If it was your own venom, maybe it wouldn't. But like
Yeah.
someone else's should feel
Yeah.
terrible to stop you from like preying on another vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your own venom should taste better than someone else's.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
Right?
like that. Yeah.
It just seems like something evolution should have taken care of.
Yeah. Now I want to see the like vampire hunting TV show where they have like an emergency bite kit that's just like
Yes.
a bunch of vinegar.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I was reading this thing about snake bites.
Mhm.
Like they say, like, oh, a tourniquet, but like then you're gonna lose the arm or
Yeah.
whatever.
If it's the choice between losing your arm and losing your entire life.
Yeah. That also what made me laugh now thinking about like a vampire venom kit is like what you're actually supposed to do if you get a snake bite is focus on what the snake looked like so you can ID it to the hospital so they can give you the right anti-venom. And now I'm just imagining you like roll up to the hospital and you're like, he was blonde and had
He had an
brown
average
eyes.
looking face.
an average looking face. He was about 5'7".
With a voice like a car salesman.
Like a car salesman. And then they pull the anti-venom off the shelf and they're like, ah yes, the anti-James.
Anti-James.
Amazing. I bet these
Uh.
vampire hunters that I'm now thinking about and am more interested in than Twilight, they must have had to like synthesize vampire anti-venom. Do you think they were like going around capturing vampires and milking them to like
100%.
make anti-venom?
Yeah.
They just got Edward tied up in a barn with a cup pressed to his teeth.
They did that in something. That has been
did they?
done. I feel like that's been done in a vampire show before.
It's gotta have been. It's not. That can't have been an original idea.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I
it's
don't
not
think
coming
it was
to me
True
right
Blood.
now.
Yeah, because I watched True Blood. I don't think it was that one.
What if I Google farming vampires?
Uh-huh.
This goes back to our theory that vampires should be farmers.
Vampires should be farmers.
Vampires should be
Farming
farmers.
Vampires.
Vampire milk.
Vampire Falls, The Hunt.
Oh
Favorite
no!
farming-
Don't Google vampire milk.
No. Hannah.
Daybreakers. Yeah. I
Oh
don't know.
no! Don't
Don't. I'm not going to.
don't combine those words in any permutation in Google.
Nope. Mm-mm. I had a couple other thoughts related to this venom / parasite scene.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
It was interesting because now that I've started thinking about the idea that like the insta love / obsession
Mhm.
is like the parasite controlling the
Yeah.
person. I can't not think about it.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
It
because
is.
especially in the Midnight Sun chapter, Edward is physically burning, is what he calls it, at Bella dying. And like the way he describes it is it's like a physical pain, and he's not aware of what he's doing. Like he says, I didn't think about moving, but then I was at her side. Or like, I didn't know who
Yeah.
was screaming until I realized it was me. And so on one hand, you know, you get that a lot in like very dramatic emotional scenes in books where they're like, I didn't realize it was me until, you know, whatever. But
Mhm.
for me, I was like, this is because the parasite is controlling him to feel this way.
Mhm.
And so he's like
Yeah.
not really at the forefront of his own mind because the parasite is like panicking.
The parasite wants him to turn Bella into a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense because that would mean this whole time he's just fighting the parasite.
Yeah.
It almost makes Edward less hateable.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, honestly.
Right?
Yeah. If he's been at the mercy of like a mind-altering parasite this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Wow.
only redeeming quality.
Wait, hold on. Do you think this is why Stephanie Meyer wrote the host?
Oh.
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 Whoa!
Oh.
Sophie!
For anyone who
Wow.
doesn't know, the host by Stephanie Meyer is about mind-altering parasites.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wow. What do you think would happen if one of the souls from the host got into a vampire?
Now I want the book where they're like, the only way we can survive the souls invasion is with vampires.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Because I bet they wouldn't be able to be hosted.
Yeah, their brain venom would just burn up the
Yeah.
soft little hosts.
But they couldn't even cut into them to even insert
Oh,
one.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I guess they could with
They're smart.
a diamond cutter. Yeah.
True.
They would figure out to use a piece of a vampire to cut into a different
Into a piece of
vampire.
vampire. Yeah, that's true.
Ooh.
Oh, this is the crossover event that we all want.
Yeah. Dang,
this-
though.
Is this the special we're gonna do? Creating the crossover between the
The
Twilight and the
crossover book?
host? Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, man. Sign up to our non-existent Patreon. It'll be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Do you think now? Okay, wait. I'm actually thinking now that like Stephanie Meyer probably came up with this partway through like Eclipse or something or whatever, and she just was
Yeah.
like, like that would have been a really great thing to do with these vampires. And then she was like, I'll just write a different book about it.
Yeah.
Okay, but again, this is assuming that like Stephanie Meyer is that smart. Do we really think that Stephanie Meyer put like parasites are the reason behind the vampirism in her books?
Probably
I
not on
mean,
purpose.
Probably not.
I still don't think I still think she would listen to this and be like, wow,
That's
you
a great
fucking
idea.
nerds.
Yeah. Look at these fucking idiots biologizing all over my Twilight.
All over
Yeah.
my fantasy novel.
Yeah.
It's magic, just hand wave.
I feel like Stephanie Meyer's not. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. And like, I then apologize to Stephanie Meyer. Maybe you are that clever. I just have a hard time believing it.
Yeah. Now I'm interested in the fact that she wrote one series and one book
Mm-hmm.
with mind-altering parasites.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was interesting in this chapter, since I'm not allowed to talk about venom anymore, is the various futures that Alice sees for Bella.
Oh.
Obviously, we know how it comes out at the end of Twilight, and like she's fine eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing that Alice sees is like Bella's going to be turned into a vampire, but it's going to take a long time. It's going to be really slow. It's going to be really painful because she got bitten on her hand. She's like, Edward, you could make this easier on her. She's going to be turned into a vampire anyway. Like, you could basically bite her somewhere else and make it go faster so she won't suffer for as long. And like, they see that. And then she sees the vision of, or Edward could just kill her and put her out of her misery. And like, she sees that future where Edward just kills her right there. And I was like, Was not expecting that. Like, damn.
Morbid.
Yeah, that part, like, viscerally upset me.
Yeah.
It was a lot darker than I was expecting it to go.
Like, it was just, it reminded me of everything we got mad at Edward about at the beginning, but like,
Yeah.
you know, the end of the road of that,
Mm.
of those red flags, which is like making decisions for Bella, not taking into account, like, right? It's the same thing where
Yeah.
he's never told her, granted, it's only been like 5 days.
5 days. Yes.
But like, he never told her what being a vampire means. He so
Mhm.
desperately didn't want her to know
Yep.
because he was like, well, then she's going to want to be a vampire. And it's like, well, you have to just tell her, let her make that choice for herself.
Yeah.
And instead, he's like, I'm going to make the choice to kill her for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. But like, if this was a situation, this not okay. Wait, let me preface this and say that
Uh-huh.
like, if this was a proper conversation between two adults and it was a consenting vampire dating a consenting human, this is something that they should have realistically talked about. With what if the case that you get infected by venom, especially knowing that you have an evil vampire chasing you? This is a conversation that they should have had, that Bella would have been like, if I get venom in me, I would like to become a vampire. But no, like, they obviously didn't think like that. But
Yeah.
in a best case scenario,
They should have had a contingency, basically.
yeah.
Like the first time they kissed,
Yeah.
Edward should have been like, hey, before we do this, I just need you to know the venom is here. And
Uh-huh.
if it gets in you, there's a chance you could start turning into a vampire. So A, you need to decide right now if we just don't kiss.
Yeah.
B, what you want me to do in that situation, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all comes down to choice and giving Bella the proper information to make her own choices in these situations, and not thinking he knows what's best for her.
yeah.
Mhm. I think part of the problem with this is that they're both 17 and horny.
But
So-
Edward is 117.
Yeah.
I mean, no, being horny's not an excuse.
No, I meant more that they're like young enough and neither have dated before, so it probably hasn't even occurred to them that they should have like frank conversations with each other,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
stupid, but
Like, here's the thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
Carlisle, and Edward actually is a doctor also, but Carlisle is a currently practicing doctor. And, like, if you are a good person who is a doctor, this is the sort of conversation you should be telling people to have if they have, like, STIs.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you need to be like, hey, you just need to be open with your partners and tell them XYZ. So, like, here is the plan to, like, avoid it, or here's what happens if it happens, you know?
True, yeah.
So, becoming a vampire is no different than
Becoming a
having
vampire.
to discuss STIs with people, which is, like, a thing that is stigmatized that
True.
shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And this being written by a Mormon,
Oh, yeah.
it kind of makes sense that that's not something she would think of that they should talk about, because ooh, that's taboo. We don't talk about
Taboo.
that.
That's true. Well, if you only have sex with one person after you're married, then
Yeah.
you don't need to have that conversation.
I mean, honestly, the HIV/AIDS pandemic was not that long ago. So, 2004,
It's
in the
true.
States, yep, they probably weren't talking about it.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Yeah.
this is a fun podcast for fun.
For fun.
I think within this conversation, it would be really interesting if they had been mature enough to have that conversation. I guess for Edward to talk to Rosalie and be like, hey,
Yeah.
convince this girl why she shouldn't be a vampire. Because, like, Rosalie obviously hates it. Like, Edward references in this chapter that she has never forgiven any of them for turning her into a vampire and, like,
Yeah.
robbing her of the chance to have a human life and a human death.
Yeah.
She's somebody that Bella should talk to before
Yup.
any of this.
Or, like, okay, Bella's
Yeah.
gonna be in, like, screaming pain for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but clearly she was able to, like, she was able to have, like, the moment of clarity to be like, my hand hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Right? And so you should be able to get another moment of clarity where you can be like, Bella, do you want to become a vampire or do you want me to kill you? Right? Like,
Yeah.
even then, like, there's a
Yeah.
moment there where you can have that discussion.
Yeah.
Or even being like, we're just gonna let her turn into a vampire and then ask her, do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want to keep being a vampire or should we kill you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how they treat vampirism as absolute immortality.
Yeah. When they literally killed James 2 seconds before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the chapter before, or maybe the one before that, Edward again thinks about how he's going to kill himself and who he's going to get to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is something that Edward hasn't considered. He's considered it at great length. And
Yeah.
obviously in New Moon, he considers it in much more length.
Yeah.
Consent is important.
Consent is important.
Consent is important.
Guys. I'm mad at Carlisle for not teaching Edward that.
Seriously though. Like
What a
we
bad dad.
we praise Carlisle a lot and like nah,
I think Midnight Sun is making me like him less.
yeah.
Just because he keeps like, I don't. In this chapter, for example, he's suturing up Bella's head wounds, and clearly Edward, his son, whom he loves dearly, is in like great distress over the idea of having to suck the venom out of Bella.
Yeah.
And his response is, "I can't help you." It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, but as the person with like the most practice resisting the temptation of human blood, and knowing that Edward has this particular attraction to Bella's blood specifically, and also knowing that Edward has a medical degree,
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah.
like the kind thing to do be
Is
to
to
say like,
switch.
Edward, sew up her head, I'll suck the venom out?
100%.
Yeah. Or like if Carlisle also thinks, like if Carlisle's like, I actually don't think I can do it, right? Like if
Yeah.
he's like Edward, if he thinks Edward has the best chance because Edward loves her,
True.
and because what ends up happening is that, of course, it's not Alice or Carlisle or any of them who are trying to stop him from drinking her dry.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Edward, it's Bella being like, Edward, stay with me. And he's like, okay. And then he stops drinking her blood because
Yeah.
he loves her so much.
Ugh.
And so, like, if he actually thinks that's what's going to happen, and so that's why Edward should do it, instead of just being like, I can't help you, he should be like, Edward, you can do this. You know, like, be supportive.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, figure it out your fucking self.
Yeah, right? Like, Carlisle is this, like, wonderful, supportive, like, nurturing father figure, and in the greatest crisis of Edward's life so far, his response is, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Really? Come on,
It's
man.
like, okay. That's fine, I guess.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm busy suturing, and I'm just a vampire who can do 17 things at the same time.
Oh my god.
Like, also, how is he not done suturing already when, like, 3 paragraphs before, Edward was like, wow, Carlisle is suturing so fast. Faster than any doctor or any machine ever has done before.
Yeah.
And he's still going?
But that goes to question, like, how badly is Bella actually hurt?
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
she should not have survived this. If she's got that many things that need fucking suturing, she should have bled out within seconds.
They're in a lake of her blood.
That's also it. It's like, if she bled out that much, like, she should
From
be
a head
dead.
wound? Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding?
I will say, I looked it up. There is only about 5 liters of blood in a human body. Edward says, we were in a lake of her blood. I'm like, that's a
That
lot of the
sounds like a
5
lot.
liters.
But that's
And
also
you're sucking out the rest of it.
That's also Edward being a melodramatic drama queen. But
Yeah. But there was enough blood that it, like, soaked into his pants
Yeah.
when he was, like, kneeling down next to her.
Yeah.
And, like, Alice had to dodge around it to get anywhere near them.
yeah.
To be fair, 5 liters, like, in a container, it seems like way more when it's splattered all over the ground.
Yeah,
That's true.
As someone who works with water a lot.
This is true, yes.
Now I wish we could all gather for science and just dump 5 liters of water on the
Dump
ground and
5
see
liters
how
of
much.
water. Be
Yeah.
like, dang, that is a lot. Well,
Well,
also,
well,
we
that-
don't want it to be 5 liters, because then she
True.
would be dead.
Then she would be dead.
Yeah.
Hmm. How much do you think Edward drank of her?
Like, couldn't be that much.
If he has to suck hard enough to counter her
Your
circulatory
heartbeat.
system, that's, like, pretty strong.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the venom has already made one full round through her body, we're assuming.
That's the other thing. The venom
Yeah.
is already everywhere.
It's already
Yeah.
everywhere. So he would have had to suck out
All of it.
All of her
all of
blood.
it.
He has to be one of
Yeah.
those, you know, those filter things where they run your blood through
Oh
it?
yeah. Edward's a
Yeah.
dialysis machine.
Yeah, Edward's a
Yeah.
dialysis machine. He didn't mention that he sucked it all out and then
And
spat
then
it back
Spat
in
it back in.
Oh
of
my-
his dry mouth.
Well, he has like the venom glands in his mouth that release venom. Maybe they can also uptake the venom.
Yeah,
So he
it's
like
a-
sucks
it's
the blood into his
filtration.
mouth, filters out the venom, and then spits it back into Bella.
Edward had a mouthful of differently sized gravel, so it just makes filtration.
could both just see my face right now because I'm just like, what?
You
This
know.
isn't my kink.
No,
It's not my kink, no.
we're just doing science.
This is just science. It's very entertaining.
Yeah,
Probably only to us.
probably only to us.
Oh my god.
I went on a deep science dive
Uh-huh.
for only tangentially related to this chapter,
Okay.
but it was related to something we talked about last time.
Oh.
Because last time we talked about how vampire skin reflects in sunlight but not indoor lights.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Hannah actually alluded to this earlier, which I didn't react to because I wanted to say it now.
Okay.
Okay.
But there is something else that sparkles with a beautiful rainbow under sunlight, but not under indoor lights.
Is it hollow?
It's holographic glitter.
Oh.
So Hannah and I watched the same YouTube channel.
Mhm.
So shout out to Christine
Thanks,
for making me
Christine.
think about this. But holographic nail polish is essentially like it's glitter, but it's not normal glitter because it reflects a rainbow. And like quote unquote normal glitter is just like it reflects the color that it is.
Mhm.
So it like glints.
Mhm.
But like holographic glitter is a very specific structure that reflects rainbow light. So
Oh, so wait, are you saying that vampires are now holographic glitter?
yes.
Vampires are. Is that why Christine's nail polish is so expensive? She has to
'Cause
grind up
it's-
vampires to
Yeah,
put
you have
in
to
it.
grind up vampires. Okay. The thing was though, I was like, I'm just gonna look up how holographic nail polish works.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll know the answer.
Yeah.
And so the very short answer is that holographic glitter is essentially a very weird pattern underneath a layer of film. So
What do
it
you
reflects
mean?
a bunch of
So-
different lights. But I tried to look up more specifics, and it turns out that glitter is like the biggest trade secret in the world.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
really?
So I read a New York Times article that was maybe the best article I've read all year.
Oh.
It was so well written and so entertaining. It's called What is Glitter by Katie Weaver, and I'm going to send it to you guys because you just got to read it because it's fun.
Okay.
The article starts being like, what is glitter made of? And it's like, glitter is made of glitter. And it's like, oh.
What?
Like,
Uh,
that's, yes, you start with a big glitter and you cut it into tiny glitters. I can't talk about
what
this whole
the
thing.
fuck?
Yeah.
Can we get Christine on our podcast?
Yeah, can we see? That's the thing. She probably doesn't she's never actually talked about the structure of hollow because it's
Yeah.
a trade secret. You
Yeah.
can't know
Wow.
how hollow is made. It's
What
like
the
there are like 3 companies that make glitter, and when she was writing this article, she was like, I wasn't allowed in the room where they make the glitter. I wasn't allowed in the room where they talk about making the glitter. He didn't even want me on site.
What?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah.
I had no idea glitter was such a secretive enterprise.
So if you
Yeah.
compress enough glitter, you get a vampire.
Yeah.
Exactly. The part that I think is the clearest explanation is glitter starts as like a clear sheet of essentially polyester film, like a polymer,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is then metallized meaning like, like a chip bag is like
Yeah.
aluminum, but it's
Yeah.
also like movable.
Yeah.
So it's metallized essentially by like evaporating aluminum onto this film.
Okay.
And then after that, you emboss a pattern, a very specific pattern onto that film. I guess it would be before you metallize it. Anyway, it's basically like the pattern, the structure is what makes the rainbow. Holographic glitters everywhere. And then they just cut it up into whatever size and sell it as hollow glitter.
What the heck?
But
yeah,
I thought that some glitter was made from minerals itself. Because glitter itself isn't recyclable. I know that's a thing. So there's biodegradable glitter, which I'm assuming is more mineral based.
Yeah, so you can't get a true rainbow from a mineral.
Oh.
But like makeups and stuff will use mica.
Yeah.
Which like glints, so it sparkles.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But if you want like that true rainbow holographic, it has to be the plastic glitter.
Wild.
And yeah, glitter is a microplastic. It never goes away.
Yes.
Ever. So it's bad. But my theory is that the vampires have diamond or whatever, because I also looked at, I was like, okay, but how does this work? So I looked up how the human epidermis works. And I just want to say the outermost layer is for Sam.
Oh.
Because it's the stratum corneum, which means the horny layer.
God!
I thought you were going to say it was wet.
That's... Oh!
I'm trying to do a thing, and how are you going to cut out these parts?
I don't know. So, wait. Okay, so my skin... Okay, so the skin is horny. It's like me, okay? Mm-hmm. And?
Yeah.
Continue?
So, there's like a couple layers of skin, but because even like the outermost layer is like a couple layers, there's stuff in there, like there's one layer that's mostly keratin, and I was like, maybe the keratin is what becomes like the diamond, and then there's like the layer underneath, because of the diamond overlaying it now, there's like a weird pattern, right? And maybe that pattern is the holographic pattern, is sort of what I was thinking. Also because I went back in to look at more like how that peacock color structure works. And basically like when you get the iridescent rainbow on butterflies, we keep coming back to butterflies.
We do.
Yeah.
They're essentially like overlapping scales of chitin with those like structures on them that create the color. Okay. So I was like, that would also explain how a vampire can like move still.
Yeah.
Because it's not one solid piece. It's just like layers upon layers of like overlapping tiny little scales.
Huh.
Oh.
Right? That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
And so like the very hard structure, the diamond, is the outermost layer, so it's actually clear. And then underneath that, it would like where it connects to the skin, because like it's a diamond structure, maybe it creates that holographic pattern in the skin underneath, and then the skin underneath is still just like skin, which is how you get maybe like, because vampires are like white or black or have like
they look like people.
Colors.
Yeah. Damn, Sophie, you so smart.
I got really excited looking it up yesterday.
I'm surprised you kept that from us for so long.
Yeah,
me also. That's like a whole day.
Yeah, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was at like 10:30 last night, so I was like, they're both asleep.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I did yesterday. I just thought it was cool that maybe that's how it works.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
That seems very plausible with the other things that we've established.
I get too into biologizing.
It's great. I love that.
Yeah, I need a mineralogist. Mineralogist?
I think mineralogist.
I need a hollow scientist to come onto the show and reveal their trade secrets.
To our audience of 14.
Our audience of 14. So that they can confirm if I'm correct.
Yes.
Someday, when we're a big podcast, we're gonna get a moth expert and a parasitologist.
Yeah.
And a
bat
mineralogist.
expert.
And Christine.
Yeah. We have a very narrow skill set.
Yeah. We're 3 marine biologists.
Yeah.
Listen, if vampire pigmentation was inherited and affected the same way as lobster pigmentation, I would be all over this.
I mean, I did dissect the trophic cascade effects of vampires in the local forest way back when, so I did apply my marine ecology skills somewhere.
There you go. Someday the fact that I know what a sea pen likes to eat will be helpful. For sure.
Yeah, the offshoot. Well, it'll be when I delve into the fossil record of vampires and reveal the offshoot of filter feeding vampires.
Yes, there we go.
Oh my god.
The only other fun fact I had was that, so when Bella arrived in Forks, what would have also been on the news the whole time would be like right now, where everyone's talking about Brood X cicadas. Because the last time the Brood X cicadas came out was 2004.
Oh.
That's why she had to move away from Arizona.
Yeah.
I actually looked it up. There's no cicadas in Arizona or Forks. But
well,
if she was paying attention,
great.
She would have known.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Yeah, well, now that we've finished off that important information, let's guess what happens next. So Twilight, the next chapter is an impasse, and Midnight Sun, the next chapter is chores. Stuff you do around your house, chores? I'm assuming chores is dealing with Victoria as a chore, right? Cleaning up their trail.
I was thinking like burning down the studio and like tidying it up and
burning it down and then tidying it up.
And the disaster they left on the friggin' freeway.
Yeah, they gotta tidy up after they ruin everything.
There were no deaths though, Sam. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, true.
No disaster.
Because that makes it okay. People were just like injured and probably have life ending disabilities now or like stuff like that, but nobody died, so it's fine.
Nobody died.
It's not like anybody needs their car.
Yeah.
So they can just destroy
It's not
those.
like cars are super expensive.
As somebody who had a car totaled because of an idiot, that triggers me.
It doesn't change your life at all.
Doesn't change your life at all.
Great.
What about an impasse?
Edward's literally probably going to refuse to let her do anything. She's going to be laying in bed, like, literally doing nothing, not allowed to do anything, but just, like, recover.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, like, in terms of their relationship. Like, it was going to be an impasse, like, Bella's like, no, I still want to be together. And Edward was like, not possible. Look at how much danger you were in because of this.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I refuse to leave your side. And he's like, I refuse you to be at my side. And I'm assuming that's what it's
I'm going to get really angry, aren't I?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. We all can. Don't worry.
That's great.
We can spread it out.
That's how anger works, right? If you share it, it gets less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the history of this podcast has taught me anything.
Yeah.
I've gotten less angry after we've talked about it.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, both of those sound good. We'll figure it out next time.
Yeah.
How about we talk about what we're reading?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will go first. I finally read that T. Kingfisher book, Paladin's Grace, that I've been waiting for.
Oh, yeah?
It was so good.
Yay!
It was so good. It was just good. That's all I want to talk about, is that I read it and it was great.
I love that for you. In a very serious way. Like, I love that for you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm in the middle of packing to move, so I don't have many books on the go at the moment.
That's fair.
That one, I read it and it was great. The end.
So I decided that I enjoyed pain, and so I I started reading Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm listening to it on audio this time.
Okay.
And the audiobook's really good. It's the same narrators as the second 2 books in the Shades of Magic trilogy.
Oh.
Yeah, so good. And I'm already about 20% through. So
wow.
there's hope that I'll be finished it faster than Way of Kings.
Yeah. I want to say that I saw you put it on Goodreads and
Yeah.
you updated it. In your first update that I saw, you were at 20%, and I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Aw, thanks, Sophie.
You made it so far so quickly.
It does help listening to it, and it also helps that I think I had one work day where I could listen to it for like 4 days because I was just doing some like data entry stuff or data manipulation, like super easy stuff.
Nice.
So I was like,
Sweet.
yeah. But yeah, what about you, Hannah?
I am currently reading 2 Star Wars books, one
Hells yeah.
in paper and one on audio. They are Tarkin and The High Republic Into the Dark. I just got
Nice.
Into the Dark this afternoon. I'm like 3 chapters into it. So far, it's better than the other High Republic book I've read. Not that that's a high bar. But yeah, they're okay.
Are all the High Republic ones connected?
Yeah, so the first one I read was like the first one that came out, Light of the Jedi, and I did not like it because they're setting it up to be like, I think, the connection point between a whole bunch of different stories. So there were way too many characters and none of them were like fleshed out, and like a lot of them die super quickly, and it's just like a very packed together book. But it seems like this one I'm reading now is taking like one of the minor characters, or I guess 2 of the minor characters from that story, and focusing on what led them to that point.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be a lot better.
Nice.
But we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like they're all connected about whatever the Starlight Beacon is. And there's been a lot of talk about the Starlight Beacon and how it's going to like unify the Republic and it's going to be this amazing thing. But it doesn't exist in the canon later, so I'm sure something horrific is going to happen to it at some point.
Yes, I can almost guarantee that, yes.
Yeah, it's going to get Death Starred. It'll be fine. But yeah, that's
neat.
All I'm doing is Star Wars.
Oh, we should say none of us have started it yet.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We have a book. We have a book club.
Uh-huh.
Our book of June, that's the month it is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. So that's what we will be reading.
By the time this episode comes out on June 22nd,
we'll
you'll finally hear what the book of the month is going to be.
To be honest, I probably won't start it until then, because it is a pretty short one.
It's a pretty short one, yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Great, yeah. If you like this chapter of Midlight Crisis, consider rating and reviewing us on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice. You can talk to us and find fun-related content on social media. Mm-hmm. We are at Midlight Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can let us know if you're on Team Wet or Team Dry. And all chapters of the show thus far are available on our website, midlightpod.podbean.com, and on YouTube. Team Dry!
Oh my god.
I'm also Team Dry.
I'm Team Wet. And just like Edward throughout Midnight Sun, as a compelling male lead, we are absolutely and literally the worst people in the entire universe for that task.
Oh. I think we're very compelling men.
Glitter is made from glitter. Big glitter begets smaller glitter. Smaller glitter gets everywhere. All glitter is impossible to remove. Now never ask this question again.